Hey guys, long time no see. Welcome back to another Fallout 4 settlement build video. This time, we're going to take a look at something a little bit different. We're going to look at the Boston Airport. Yes, I did ultimately decide to build a settlement here. And it was actually one of my more fun builds, believe it or not. I know Boston Airport kind of has a bunch of mixed feelings amongst the Fallout 4 community for its viability as an actual settlement due to some of the base game restrictions that are on the settlement, but I actually quite enjoyed it, so I'll be taking y'all a tour through the settlement and kind of explain what my thought process were for its design. Real quick, I'll kind of get a shot of the perimeter. And I apologize if something ends up happening, but like most videos, I try to shoot during the day. See, I've got some guard towers and stuff that are, and some searchlights that are looking out this direction from the airport, and I've got some on this side too, as you can see, and it hooks up directly, just like it hooks up right on the south end of the airport, what was originally a destroyed section. And I'll quickly run inside real quick. One thing I wish I could have gotten rid of with these buses, but what can you do? It's right outside the barrier. Anyway, as we come into the entrance of the Boston Airport, we come into the Commons area, and I knew from the beginning that I wanted it to be an enclosed section because my thought process behind it was, this was a destroyed part of the airport, but I wanted to look like they were able to salvage enough to kind of like restore the area and retrofit it to be a place to live in. Now, obviously, it's connected right to the Brotherhood of Steel base, but I like to see it as kind of an extension. Like, the Brotherhood acknowledges that the settlement is here, but they, I guess you can say, like, its purposes in the economics and like the certain politics, I guess, of this settlement are external from the Brotherhood of Steel. They may have some influence on this area as far as things like trade and stuff, but most of the time this is a fully self-sustaining settlement on its own. But I think it was initially, I like to think of it, that it was a project that was initially started by the Brotherhood of Steel, but they got busy with other things, and then citizens of the Commonwealth kind of took over, and I guess they mutually worked together, is the way I like to say it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing too special about it. As you can see, I have it fully enclosed with glass, and this is something I wanted to do from the beginning. I thought this would really look cool as far as kind of like a scenic, being more scenic of the settlements, because you can actually see the skyline from here. I thought this was a really nice touch. And my thought process with this statue here is that this was an actual something that probably would have been found in the Boston Airport before the bombs fell, and they just took it and decided to make it like a centerpiece of the settlement. So I like it a lot. And that honestly was something that came with mods. That's something that's not in the base game, but I really like how it turned out here. Just around the immediate area over here, we've got a cafeteria, a restaurant of sorts, and again, everything I see around here is something that probably could have been found in the airport before the ground fell. The chairs, the lounges and stuff like that, the counters, all these different things was something that probably could have been here during that time, and so it makes it more realistic in my opinion. And as you can see, that's the. I guess I'll kind of go in a circle here, but that's the eating area. Just in here is nothing special. It's just a little storage area. Normally, these doors lead directly inside the facility where they work on Liberty Prime, but you cannot open these doors. So that's kind of a bummer. It'd be nice if they connected the two, but they obviously didn't. So, gotta work with what you have. Continuing around here, I guess I'll do the middle real quick. Obviously, you can see these are the different shops and stuff that I have situated with some storage and stuff underneath. Nothing too special about them, really. My gun person's not here, so the mod that's meant to fill out the store is not working at the moment, but they're very basic, nothing too crazy about them. Not as extensive as my other shops that I have at my other settlements, but that was somewhat intentional. because the Boston airport gets a lot of help as it is for being more central to the Commonwealth. Just up here, I have, I guess, kind of my quote bar area, which I think was a little bit, I mean, it's not a huge settlement by any means, so there's not really a need for me to keep many things around to accommodate all the different settlers. So there's only 2 tables and a few chairs, and that's about it, and only a few things to drink. And it gives a very nice view of downtown Boston, as you can see there. And I like that a lot too. And that was quickly the middle. Continuing on with the rest of the tour, just inside here is the workshop area, where a lot of the settlers work. I've got it all kind of blazing out around the workstation here that you can see. And again, it really fills out the space. I like the aesthetic of the airport itself, very metallic, very industrial feeling. I really like how this settlement turned out. I thought it was going to be one of my worst ones, honestly, but it ended up not being so bad after all. So that's really awesome. Nothing really over here. Another one of those doors where you can't go in and out, which is unfortunate. But I figured I'd just try to clutter the place up as best I could with all these little random individual things that are around here. Where should I go next? I guess I'll kind of keep going in a circle as best I can. Just a few odds and ends around here for people to sit and do whatever. Just over here is another little storage area. I've got quite a few of these because there's always little things that can be tucked away into corners and stuff like that. Just over here, and at this point we're actually outside this door that kind of leads to the interior, but we're outside where we've got a few things out here. We'll first start with the garden house, and if anyone who's played Fallout for the base game, they know that you're restricted as to what you can actually do with the settlement. And a big one is you can set up very few water sources, and very few food resources. And in fact, I don't think you can set them up at all. You can't plant any of the food. The purpose of the settlement was entirely if you were going to have a Brotherhood of Steel character, someone who's going to side with that faction. And if you were going to build the teleporter to get inside the Institute, this is the space where you would do it. And that's all its intention was. And also if you were going to build just a single individual player home, but you would not have anything else. You would not have food. You wouldn't be able to keep settlers here, because that was never the point. It was just meant to be for like a solo Brotherhood of Steel playthrough. But at the time that I built this, I can now plant food if I have like the topsoil to put on the ground. But at the time, I still did not have that option until I installed a few mods. But I did have resources to all these individual potted plants, and I'm actually okay with that. It actually makes this settlement stand out a little bit more than the others, because as most have seen most of my videos, I generally have a lot of things that are consistent, and one of them is having a greenhouse where people can get their food. But with this one, I feel like it stands out a little bit more than others than actually having planted food. They have pots where they ship in fertilizer, and that makes sense because everything around here is surrounded by concrete. So I think it worked out a lot better. And the second floor just has more of them, and nothing too special up here. And a nice view. Who forever's working, being a gardener, I guess. Just over here is a couple of little apartment style homes. Little cozy areas for people to sleep and live. Usually 2 to a room, which I thought makes sense. Little stove, and sinks that would make sense inside a supply or utility closet. But then they decided to move it and actually use it as sinks for the little apartment style little houses here. And so I really like how that turned out as well. The one right here is essentially the same. And sorry about the flickering TVs. You gotta love all the FPS drops because of everything that's going on around here. The electricity seems to be very finicky, at least in my experience, when I try to build these large settlements on the Xbox One. My LCD requires me to close these doors. And we got, water filter here. Over here, just another little apartment style place. This one a lot bigger and is accommodating for 4 people. I'm technically 6 because you know my sleeping bag trick. But yeah, just another nice little small apartment here. Close the door. Close the door. I have my HUD opacity to 0 so I can give these tours more appropriately. Now going upstairs. We've got the 2 individual guard towers, little places down here so people can, if they're on shifts, they can come in and out. It's supplied with some ammo and stuff like that, which makes sense since it's a guard tower. These came with the mod too, and I love these in particular. They provide 10 defense, but they really add to the immersion as far as it's something that would make sense here at the airport, especially just right next to the Brotherhood of Steel base, these type of guard towers, and so I like them a lot. And there's kind of a walkway that goes around here. I'll return over here in a second, but just I'll show the second guard tower over here. It's essentially the same. Like I said, the catwalk that goes all the way around. Just over here is a series of guard posts right here. Nothing too special, which makes sense to look out over the front. You literally could just have anyone walk up, but good luck since the Brotherhood of Steel is everywhere around here. Over here is just another apartment, one of my larger ones. Nice and cozy. Everything that a typical Wastelander could need. Continuing on, we go over here. The outside walkway over there connects to here as well. You've got a few lounge areas and a few more guard posts for people who are just kind of overseeing the ins and outings of all the people who come inside and stuff like that. People who kind of keep watch over the area from above up here. Over here is just another large apartment, almost the exact same as the others, for people to sleep and go about their business. And people aren't good at closing these doors. Come on, we live in the Fallout universe. Kidding. And this up here is some stairs that lead directly into the rest of the airport over here, you know, where the prevalent and stuff is stacked, which I thought made sense as far as connecting the two. And people can kind of make their way over here, I guess. This one was a bitch to try and make it work because I was really OCDing about how I was going to try to make things symmetrical, and it ended up being somewhat symmetrical because, you know, you have so many panels of stuff in equal amounts, but I wanted the stairs to be right down the middle, so I tried my best to make that work, and I think it was okay in the long run. And last but not least, we've got the last walkway over here. It looks out towards over downtown Boston, and it goes all the way in a circle like I showed you before. And that's pretty much the settlement, guys. Nothing too crazy about it. It may seem more smaller than my other ones, but it's a lot more, there's a lot more going on. There's a lot of stuff packed into this space, and that's why I really like it. It's a real huge, efficient way to use this settlement, and I was really pleased by the way it turned out. So, like always, I will head outside real quick and do a quick run through of the settlement at night.
Dangerous look about you. Hope you ain't here for me.
Ain't looking for trouble, I hope.